What is going on, guys? My name is ggforgoblinguide. A lot of burn players are asking me, is Firewalker still a card? Why do you play Sanctifier en-vec? Should I play Lurrus or not? Should I play 19 or 20 lines? A lot of good questions, so let's talk about that. So like I said, today we're going to do a quick video about me answering some questions that you might have or you might be interested in the burn deck. A lot of questions that are being debated in the burn community, so I don't have all the truth, and you might debate in the comment section below about these questions. So all of my answers will be based on my experience in my latest leagues and also my big tournament that I did Saturday the 27th of November in Montreal, a face-to-face open for a 2K Modern. Before we start the video, I just want to gently remind you that if you don't know me and you're really interested in Modern Burn, you're maybe not yet subscribed to the channel, I post a lot of Modern Burn content, so definitely subscribe to the channel. And if you like the video, you can push that like button to help me out. Also, in the comments you can debate about these questions, and if you really want to support me, I have a Patreon with a sideboard guide for Modern Burn updated every single month. The month of November was done literally just before this video, so if you're interested in that, definitely go check it out. Alright, so in the tournament I learned a lot. In first round I faced Murktide, second round Murktide, and also it was my friend that I faced. Third round Etron, fourth round it was, I noted here, it was Naya mid-range, really close to a Gruul mid-range, but he was splashing whites for prismatic ending. In the fifth round it was white control, and then it was actually 7 rounds, but my 6th and 7th round I drew because I won all of my 5 first rounds, so I was 5-0, then I drew 2 times to guarantee my way into top 8. So I finished 6th place out of 126 players, so that's pretty good, and I unfortunately lost in top 8 against Affinity. So what I liked about the tournament was, first of all, I did a really good result, but I learned a lot of things in the tournament, and I'm going to discuss about some of those things today. So the list I played, first of all, was my list with 19 lands and a Fire Ice Light. So a lot of questions I get asked is, why do you play 19, why not 20, what is the correct land count? Honestly, between 19 and 20, it's almost the same thing. What I personally like about having 19 lines is you have one extra card that you can have, and in a metagame where we need a lot of good cards in our sideboard right now, having that one extra card for like a Skullcrack is pretty important to me personally. I really like having like 2 Skullcrack in my main deck. So that's why I'm running 19 lines and not 20. If you're running 20, it's really not the end of the world. You're just gonna have one less card that you have a flex spot on. All right, next up we have not a question, but an observation from me is to sideboard out your Lightning Helixes against Ragavan decks. So I didn't do it at first, but I actually almost lost a game to this because my opponent actually bubbled me, and they saw that what I had on top. Then they dabbed their Ragavans in. So I was thinking, okay, the card might be pretty good on my top, so I decided to Lightning Bolt the Ragavan, even though I could just go face and like probably win in 2 turns. And my top was Lightning Helix. So at this moment, I was like, okay, I think it's probably better to side out your Lightning Helix, even though this situation is not going to happen a lot. And Lightning Helix is not, it's a pretty good card in the matchup, but the thing is, they only need one more land, like a mountain and the treasure to do white, to just pretty much do a huge swing against us, so they can kill a creature or just gain 3 and deal it to our face. It's not gonna happen a lot, but it can actually just win them the game. So I think Lightning Helix should go out at least 1 or 2 copies in Ragavan's decks. All right, next up we have, why do you bringing Deflecting Palm against Izzet Murktide? Since they have so many counter spells, that's just wrong. And usually I would agree. I think it's like not that it's not that good to bring in a card that get countered so easily. But the thing is, we have to ask ourselves, how do we lose against Izzet Murktide? Usually we don't lose to Ragavan or DRC. When we lose is going to be Murktide, and I protect myself or my Murktide with counter spells. So When we lose to Murktide, there's not a lot we can do unless, well, game 1 we can just raise them, go to face. Game 2 we can path, or we can deflect and palm. So yes, it's not a good card because they have counter spells, but it's like one of the only way we can protect ourselves from not losing the game. So on the draw, it's actually not a bad play to have 1 or 2 palms, considering I run 2 path only in my list. If I had 3 path, maybe you can cut 1 more palm. So yes, it's not good to bring palm against a counterspell deck, but in this case, I think it's fine to have palm in the situation where it can literally save your life and basically win the game, because if they swing for 7 and you deflect and palm this, and of course they have counterspells, but you know, counterspells deck are not always going to have counterspells, and you can easily bait their counterspells with other spells. So if your opponent is going to be threatened that there's going to be, like, that they're going to die, you can just bait it a deflecting palm and just win the game on the spot. So I might be wrong on this one, but for now I like bringing palm in the matchup. Next up we have, should I play Core Walker or Sanctifier en-vec? Why do you play Sanctifier en-vec? As of today, end of November 2021, in Modern Burn, in my opinion, you should not play Core Walker, even like 0 copies of Core Walker. This card is useless in this meta. Unless you're at a local game store and there is 4 burn players out of 12 players, go for it, play Core Walker, adjust to your metagame. I'm always saying this, adjust to what you think you're gonna face. On mtgo or in big tournaments, don't play Core Walker. First of all, it's only good against the Burn Mirror. No one's playing Purawas or Moderato Bosch almost. And second of all, it's just, you don't really need Core Walker to win the Burn Mirror in the first place. It's gonna be, of course it's gonna be better, but honestly, the mirror is won by who gets the play and who is the better player. Almost all the time it's gonna be this. The play being the most important in my opinion. On the other hand, Sanctifier en-vec is one of the most powerful sideboard card we have access right now. In my opinion, it's probably the most powerful sideboard card in our sideboard right now, except for Lurrus. I'm going to talk about that in the last point. In my tournament, Sanctifier en-vec, I played against Murktide, and on mtgo, Rakdos mid-range has really beginning to be very strong because it won the last Vegas tournament. So a lot of people are playing Rakdos mid-range, and oh my god, so Sanctifier is so good against this deck. It's like, turn 2 Sanctifier, it's almost a guaranteed win unless you draw like only lands. They cannot remove it, exile all of their graveyard, is just perfect, so good. It's also really powerful against Murktide. Of course, they have blue instant sorceries, but most of them are going to be red. Just going to waste their time. They can only block with Murktide, so you almost have a 2 damage in free. It's just so good. If you happen to face Dredge, it's going to be your best card. If, I mean, so many matchups you want to bring Sanctifier en-vec over Core Walker. This is going to be a great investment. I love this card. So yeah, play Sanctifier en-vec, not Core Walker. Please, trust me on this. Alright, last but not least is, should you play Lurrus in your burn deck right now? Before Modern Horizon 2, the metagame was really less grindy, and there was a pretty good debate on should you play Lurrus. Sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's going to win you game, but sometimes you literally never play it. I was really thinking about should I play Lurrus or not, because honestly, sometimes I did 3 or 4 leagues and I didn't even put Lurrus into my hand once. Because either I kill my opponent fast enough, that's a good thing, or I just didn't have the time to put it into my hand because I was already dead. The minigame was really less a grind, and the game was going a little more faster, or you just got locked and Lurrus, no Lurrus, it didn't matter anyway. The only matchup that I was going to put Lurrus into my hand on a pretty good basis was John, the old version of John, Boomer John. And yes, it won me some games, but it was not the most popular deck, so I was going to face John 1 in like 4 leagues, and even sometimes I didn't put Lurrus into my hand at all. Now, post Modern Horizon 2, like I'm always saying, the games are really more of a grind. You're gonna have Lurrus, you're gonna have, and on the 2 sides, you're gonna have Cruxa, you're gonna have Bubbles, you're gonna have DRC, Ragavans, a lot of things that makes the game go long, some value-wise, little more value here and there. You want to add value to your opponent, even in a matchup where it's 2 aggressive decks. And Lurrus gives you that edge in a lot of matchups. In my tournament, in 6 rounds that I played, I put Lurrus probably 5 times in my hand, which is pretty good. And out of those 5 times, 4 times it won me the game. Like, if I didn't have Lurrus at all as my companion, I would have lost the game for sure. Sometimes it's gonna be when you multi 5, you don't have much to do, so turn 3 you put Lurrus into your hand, turn 4 you play it, and sometimes you're gonna have 4th line, so play it with the Goblin Guide. Sometimes there's gonna be against a discarding deck. I mean, they're gonna take the Lurrus because it looks like the most powerful card, but maybe you have like 2 lightning bolts in your hands, or you're even maybe happy that they take Lurrus. Honestly, in today's meta, since it's a lot of grind, it's gonna be a lot of times you're gonna put Lurrus into your hand and you're gonna be happy that you have Lurrus, and it's gonna help you a lot win the game to have an 8th card in your hand. And yes, I was talking about the sideboard slots are pretty tight, but there is actually 2 flex spots in the modern burn deck sideboard right now, and I think Lurrus is not even a flex spot. I think everyone should play Lurrus right now. This is as today, end of November 2021. If you see this video like really few months from now or even years from now, maybe it's not going to be the case. Maybe Lurrus is going to be useless, maybe it's going to be banned. So yeah, I think right now you should play Lurrus in your burn deck. So that's it for the video. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to smash the like button, and if you agree or disagree with me, let me know in the comment section below. If you have other questions that I didn't answer, please let me know in the comments as well. And that's it for me. I'm gonna see you guys in another video. Bye bye.